One, two, three. And we are recording. Hi everyone. Today I have my dear friend Mayank with me, and we are today going to be focused on savings. And once you save, how do you going to invest your money into stock market or your Roth IRAs? And today we are just going to talk about all these things, and we don't have an agenda. We're just going to lay out our own journey in our financial health. And Mayank is also going to talk about his own personal experiences. So Mayank, why don't you introduce and say something about yourself?
Yep. So, thank you, Naimish. So, yeah, this is going to be just a normal discussion on how we talk about money in everyday life. It's not going to be something much in detail. We just want to talk and share the experience that we have faced in the last few years that we've been friends. We've been friends for some time now. So, and we try to do similar things and invest on similar ideas. So yeah, we'll just go over and share those information. I'm from the similar background. I have the IT background. I'm working in banking industry for 2 years now, and before that consulting for a few years. So yeah, all in all, we have seen some of the things where we can improve on, we can make some money on, and how to improve and increase our wealth.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll just basically go over that.
So one thing I want to mention is, why do we do this? Because investing and talking about money is a taboo subject in our own culture. And what we are trying to do here, we are trying to break these barriers. We are trying to change our mindset. So if I say something wrong, then Mayank is there to correct me, and then there is going to be a feedback loop where we don't fail, we actually learn when if we fail. So we want to establish a framework where we do an experimentations, and when we fail, we try to learn by doing a due diligence, by talking to someone else. Don't just keep things in your mind, because everything which stays up there never materializes. Yes, so that's what we are trying to do. And what do you think? Was this is the right thing which I just talked about? How do you think about this?
Yeah, this actually taking the first step is the hardest piece.
Yes.
So I've been delaying myself a few things, and I try to learn from Naimesh, but procrastination is a big evil in our generation. So I would say, I think taking the first step is the hardest step, and once you do it, I think things get easier. So that's what we're trying to build in our circle, in our friends, whoever's listening, whoever's seeing. So talking about the videos, just go ahead and make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. So no shame on plugging that in. And now we can begin on the topics we have.
Yes. So first thing we have lined up is savings. Now Mayank has the vast experience on this savings, because actually I tried to learn from him, where he showed me that how did he save few $100, and then I learned from him that how should the saving should happen, and that's the first step. So let him talk about all these things, and all of us should listen very carefully about this thing.
So it's a common thing. I think it comes with the culture that we are in. Most people, I would say, that I know does save. There's no rocket science behind saving. It's very simple thing. You have to save, and then you have to spend less than you make. So you're automatically gonna save the remaining. So the main point here is how the saving comes into play, right? So you make the money. Let's say you're making $60,000 a year. You're making $100,000 a year. You have to make sure that you save at least 20% of your income. Does not matter. That has to be after tax. So I'm talking about the net income take-home pay. Whichever money you take it home, not the pre-tax, has to be saved. Out of that, try to save 20%, 25%. That's the golden rule, and then you can always go more and just live on rice and beans and just and save as much as you can. But it's a long process. It takes time, and it takes years and years of consistent putting money. Then all of a sudden, after a few years, you see a big chunk of money saved. Yes. There are some ways to it. We can go. We'll go in the details.
So I think he said it right. You should start with the few amounts and maybe it can be an $100 for you, $500, or maybe $5,000. But all it takes is to be accountable how much money you are earning, take a ledger where the money is going out. We call it bleeding money. You don't realize if you have 5 6 subscriptions running, it might be on Amazon Prime, it might be a Netflix, and your phone bills. There are many things which is going on, you never keep track of it. Even if you are trying to do a grocery shoppings, you generally don't overlook, and you don't see how much did you spend, and you don't have a budget. So that's what we are trying to actually mention here, that first try to be an accountable how much money you are spending. Once you have this laid out, then you know where to cut down, where to save. So why don't you say something about this,
That's
because you try to save $500 when you were
yeah,
running.
and yeah, that's so true. I think first step of saving is budgeting. But when it comes to budget, I think people takes it fully wrong in terms of let's say if I'm going and if going for shopping, right, and I like this specific T-shirt, that T-shirt is $20, right? That saving, not spending that $20 is not the saving we are talking about. The saving that we are talking about is a big ticket items, like buying a house, buying a car, buying a new motorcycle, buying an insurance policy, things like that. So those are the big ticket items that makes a bigger dent in your savings.
Yes.
So yeah, just I would say, just cutting down on some minor things would make a difference in the long run, but it's not going to be as huge as cutting down on bigger items like
Yes.
buying a car.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one thing. But yeah, I think for me, I started like Naimesh was saying, right? I started in like I would say 2014 when me and some group here started a fund. It's just I would say a traditional fund of money where just people get together and try to save a certain amount every month. So we had like 25 people who came together and started a new fund where they were saying saving $2,000 per person. So for me, I did not have $2,000 every month at that time to be putting away forever. I only had few $100. So I just took a partnership. I asked one of my relatives to add my name to it, but officially I would just give 500. He would add the remaining 1,500. So that's how I got started. And since then, I never even checked how much actually there is. I would say that money is never supposed to be used anywhere. It's just supposed to be just saved. And when the time comes and you see that there is a real investment coming up, that's when you take out the money. And right now, I think after interest earned, that money is I would say, way above $60,000-$70,000. So it's been 7 years, but these 7 years consistently putting down $1,500 every month has become a bigger chunk of money alongside what we already save on our everyday life. So yeah, so I would say start small, and then it becomes bigger. So don't lose patience.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we talked about you should save our money, yes? And once you saved up, what should you do? So I think that should be the next topic, and let's talk about that, Mayank.
Yeah, so that's the big one. I think Naimesh has more, I would say, more things to share on that front. But I think I've I have only saved just to invest in the future. So the best thing you can do for saving is that you're only saving not just to save and just keep the cash. That cash is actually never going to be growing if you don't invest. So the best way to do it is then you figure out where to invest, right? So easiest pieces comes into play. So I think Naimesh and I agree on 401k being the best for at least the IT professionals. So in any company you're working, all companies basically do have 401k. I would say does not matter what your visa status is. Just go ahead and subscribe to that. Just go ahead and have your money saved up before tax. So let's say after 10 years, the visa issue comes up, or you have to go back to the country. You may have to pay the penalty, but the amount of money that is built up after a few years in 401k is still going to be more than actually paying the penalty. So don't take a risk of not saving and not having a 401k account. That's basically free money you're neglecting. So Uh, don't do that. Doesn't matter the visa situation for us. It's a different story for a lot of people. It's a different story, and some people do make very less, so they cannot save as much. But I would say that's the easiest and that's the best step you can take. And after a few years, you can decide what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it will build up.
So, you know, me being naive, what I have done in the beginning was, when you join any companies in United States, they give you a very big pamphlet, and over there might be a one sheet which says for 1K and there is going to be a rules. I never read it in the beginning, and it did say, I only read the portion where it said you have to put the money in, and I said, why should I put the money in? And I never went into the entire description, because at the end it says if you put $1.50 up to the $6,000, your company will contribute. So let's say over the year you have, every year your company will contribute some amount of the money in your 401k. So if you put $6,000, your company will contribute up to $6,000. So it's a free money. So if your salary is $106,000, just think about additional $6,000, and now you have $112,000 your income, and it will be pre-tax, yes, or after tax.
It's a pre-tax.
Yes, it's a
401k
pre-tax.
is a pre-tax. So, yeah, so that's the best example. I think Naimesh said it right. Every time we see the application form, we think that somebody is taking money from us, and in most of the situations we are already making so less. We don't want to give more money
To
to
anyone.
anyone else. So I think looking at that scenario, I think we have to always read the fine print.
Yes.
Every company that at least I worked on, most all of them had 401k. And I only started this investment 3 years back. So
Me
all the
too.
money that I lost of
Yeah.
not going with 401k is gonna cost in the future.
In the cost in the
But
future, I
yeah,
think both of us made the same mistake. If we calculate together, we gave free money to our companies rather than we getting it from them. So
correct,
probably we lost $30,000 over the
correct.
4 years of period. So
More
quite
than
a
that.
bit money.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't
So
do the same
I think
mistake we did.
that's the easiest. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way. And you have to read the fine print. So, like Naimesh is saying, right, the $6,000. So, is the dollar amount is there, and alongside there is a percentage you have to read and keep in mind. So, let's say you're making $100,000, but the 401k is going to be specific to the company match. So, the company match can be just 3% or 5%. So, you have to put 5%. The company will match the 5% on top of it. So you put 5,000 and the company will put 5,000, makes it $10,000 altogether. But that 5,000 is a free money. So we cannot neglect that extra 5,000.
Yes.
So that is the key here. Alongside the stock market, and the market has been going up, and 401k is supposed to be for your retirement. So even though the market doesn't do good in the shorter run, in the future, after a few years, by the time you're retiring, at that time you'll have a big chunk of money from the employer.
I know.
So yeah,
You know, when the 2020 crash happened, one day I sat down and I did the calculations that, if I think I started doing this on 2014, like I joined the corporate tech market here in 2014. If I would have participated in 401k, my money would have been contributed to the stock market, small index, big index, and I calculated it that $30,000 for first 4 years would have been $80,000 today. So
easily,
you could have
easily.
been purchased the house. You could
Yeah,
have
it's
at least 50%. If you are trying to buy a house which is $160,000, 2 bedroom hall kitchen, then you would have put the half the money in. That would have been a lot of money.
yes, it's a bigger. And think about the stock market run in the last year. If we miss out on that run of 2020 and 2020 up till now, the stock market has grown in the growth mutual fund. If you just put your money in any growth mutual fund, the stock market has grown 40% up till in since the 2020 dip that happened because of the virus. So
Yes.
yeah, since if you could have money just in 1 year, your money must have grown 40%. If we miss out on this type of stock market run, then this is a totally bull market we missed out on. So
Yes.
missing out this is a very is a big mistake, I would say.
Yeah,
But
it's a big mistake on
yeah,
all our end. And
yeah,
you know, And also, guys, how we should avoid this mistake? By quarterly or maybe monthly putting some money in. So to your 401k is contributed your every paycheck. So you are not actually doing anything. And if you do this, you don't have to pay a single, or you do not even have to put in 1 minute effort into doing all those things. So us thinking back then that why someone is trying to deduct the money from our end, we didn't do our own due diligence. If we would have done it, additionally, we would have missed the 2020 market. We would have kept an eye on our 401k. We would have learned more about it in 2014 back
Yes.
then, and we would have been involved in the market for 5 months or 5 years before then we started back. I think 2 years back. So think about all these things. Learning opportunity would have started 4 years back, and you would have learned so many things, and you would have earned a lot more money on the longer period of time. Because in investing the term is you have to stay in the market for a longer period of time. If you are healthy, yes. If you are young, if you stay in the market for 30 years, you are probably going to be a millionaire when you die. So that's the,
Easily.
yeah, that's
Easily.
the
Multi-millionaire. I would say
multi-millionaire. Yes.
yeah, millionaire is a small term. The millionaire is a new middle class now.
Yes.
So by the time in 30 years, I think if you see the history of stock market, right? So the history says that every time the big crash happens, after the crash is when the biggest bull market starts. So in 2009, we saw the crash happen. And then since then, up till now, even till 2020, the market was going crazy. So all those 10 years of gains, if you're losing out on all that gains, it's
Yeah.
too much to lose.
Yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, I think that's a 401k. But Naimesh brought another point. So 401k is one thing, but there is also a tax after tax income which you also can save and put it aside, that through traditional IRA or Roth IRA. So the Roth IRA has this, because I was thinking about adding money to a Vanguard Roth IRA account. So the way it works is you have that money after tax. So you have to, let's say you're saving 25%. Out of the 25% that's after tax you have saved, you can put 5% in a Roth IRA, which is again investing in the market, that has a specific index fund, mutual fund you have to select, and that just money grows. And by the time you're 60 years old, 59 and a half, even in that you don't have to pay tax. But 401k, by the time when you take out the money, you have to pay tax.
Yes.
So that's the benefit of Roth IRA. That money is growing tax-free. You don't have to pay tax to anyone. You have already paid tax to that income. So that is the second way you can contribute and save money.
Yes. So this is what was about 401k and all those things. But Mayank, you mentioned one really interesting thing while you were talking. All this thing is money sitting in your account is not growing. Yes. So why don't we talk about it's not growing, but it's actually depreciating every year? Let's put some light on this so people can understand this. What's going on?
The inflation 101. So yeah, it's so simple. Every year 3% inflation is what Federal Bank says, that we try to stay around 2%, 3% inflation. So if your money, if you have $100, after 1 year, that $100 is only going to worth $98. So you have to make sure that every time you just keep the cash around. I'm also a victim to that. I have just cash sitting around, which is not doing anything, which is not the ideal way to invest. I would say if you have cash sitting around, you make sure you have it invested somewhere which is actually making that cash grow. Because if the cash is just sitting in the bank account, due to inflation, it will just go down in the value. So every year in 1970s, our $1 used to worth actual $1. So you could buy 7 things. You could go to grocery store and buy 3 bags of chips for $1.
Yes.
And now you cannot even buy 1 bag of chip of that same $1. So that's due to the drop on the money value. So don't do that. I would say inflation would kill most of the cash that you have. So you have to make sure you put, even if you try to save, there are savings account which yields, I think 0.5% interest rate. I know I have an account in Ally Bank, so there is no, Ally Bank is not paying me for it, but yeah, it's a good bank. just to say it out loud. It's a good bank. You can put your money and it will grow with the interest rate.
Mhm.
It's not going to grow in your traditional bank.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes. I
Um,
want to take my own spin on this one. So let me tell you how does this thing happen. Let's say you have $100 in your account. Yes, you don't invest anywhere, and at the end of the year, now because of 3% inflation, your $100 is just worth of $97. But let's do this. Beginning of the year, put the $100 into Apple stock. Let's just take a ballpark number. The Apple stock is $100 worth. Yes. Now, since there is a 3% inflation, when we make a mobile phone, every commodity which is being used to make a mobile phone has been increased for 3%. So now your mobile phone is actually worth $103. But you are not actually owning a mobile phone, you are owning the participant shares in the company. So share prices also increase because now your commodity is worth more because the commodity is a iPhone for the Apple. So your commodity is worth more now, which is 3%. So if you would have actually
Correct.
put the money into the Apple, at the end of the year, your money would be worth $103. So you would have protected yourself from the inflation. So this is how you think
Yeah.
that.
And even the appreciating price of the stock market, let's say that same $100 stock of Apple
Mhm.
is increasing or decreasing.
Mhm.
Apple at the end of all quarters give out dividends.
Mhm.
So you have to take that as an income too. No such bank is going to give you just this 33 cents of 50 cents of dividend every share that you own. It's not going to happen in the bank.
No.
It will only happen while investing to the stock market and investing into the stocks, specifically Apple.
Mhm.
So yeah, the point is it's easier to you feel good when you have so much cash sitting around, but in a way it should not be that way. It should
Yeah.
be somewhere in some asset. Try to put in some asset, at least put in some stocks. That's the easiest way. My suggestion, I would say, is the real estate. But it takes so much effort and it's a bigger chunk of money that you're putting down. So yeah, I think you have to go step by step. The smallest step is to put it somewhere in the
Mhm.
index fund or mutual fund, so it can grow.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So Mayank just said yes. If the stock has appreciated 6%, 12%, that's the average of the last 50 years. Then your
Mhm.
$100 is already worth $112. Plus the commodity price has been increased by 3% due to inflation. So you can add another $3. It will be $127. And plus Apple gives you dividend of 2% or 1.5%. So they, if you own $100, then they give you a $2 back at the end of the year, and it's another
Correct.
$2. So $100 invested upfront on your Apple stock, it's actually worth 15% or 16% at the end of the year, rather than you losing the money in your bank account. So it's definitely the wise choice, and keep this thing in the mind. A lot of people make the mistake here, and they just think that stock market is gambling. That's what our society has reiterated all these things in our mind, and we have to get rid of these biases that we have. So.
Correct. Even in terms of gambling,
Mhm.
I would say even start gambling with stock market. I would say go ahead, put $100 in just to see that how it works and see firsthand that you can actually buy and sell the stocks and make money.
Mhm.
It's not old days where you have to sign a stock certificate and then send it out and buy it and then keep it forever. No,
Mhm.
this is so simple. You can buy and sell in 3 seconds.
Yes.
So um, just try it out. Even as a gambling, try it out with
Mhm.
the smallest amount of money which you can afford to lose,
Mhm.
so that you can delete that feeling of fear.
Mhm.
So there's no fear of entering in the stock market, and the best way to enter is through your job, which is 401k, or either go and buy individual stocks, which I don't suggest in the first place. I would say go ahead with put the money in index fund or mutual fund first, and then try and buy individual stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see how it goes.
And we
But
we
yeah,
always we always recommend that if you want to buy a stock, first look at the company. You just fell in love with the Apple ticker symbol and then you just buy it. That's not the way you do it.
my favorite is AMC. So
Yes. People are just buying AMC, and that stock has appreciated from $7 to $6. or $11 to $60. I don't know. I don't track these things, and
No, what are you talking about? This is $60 stock now.
yeah, so it's like it appreciated within a month from $7 to $60, and people are in fear. We call it FOMO, fear of missing out. Where I think now will jump from $60 to $600. So I want to double the money now, or I want to 10x the money now after it has actually 10x. And people do lose the money right there, and they don't realize that yes, if you would have invested earlier back then, it's fine, but now you are participating into total speculations. People will directly cash out right after you put the money in because stock has jumped. Yes, so I don't recommend this at all.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you have to.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Due diligence is the good point. I think because we are investing, let's say you're not investing and you're trading, then mostly you don't have to worry about the fundamentals of the company. But let's say you're investing, then you have to care about what the company does, how much the company makes, what's the dividend percentage every year, or every quarter, how much they made, revenue, profit, everything. So that's when you have done your homework and now you're ready to invest. You like the company, you use it every day. My first rule is the company that you like has to be something that should be used. You should be using every day.
Yep.
So I eat a lot of Chipotle. That's why I have Chipotle stock.
Yes.
You have to make sure
Yes.
that the company that you already know the company, how good they are. If you have an Apple phone and you know the Apple phone is so good,
Yeah.
you have to invest. So that's the thing. You like Android, go ahead and invest in Google. So yeah.
I wanna give the similar example. Like mine loves the Chipotle, yes. And if you would have put the money into the Chipotle, like if you would have actually put the money in the Chipotle a long time back, you would have actually, I think 4x, 5x, I don't remember.
Oh,
Chipotle has
easily.
it is phenomenal brand. People love Chipotle. Any country, any religion, it doesn't matter. Any geography, people do love the Chipotle because they make
Yeah.
that good food. I wanna give you also an example because he played to his own strength that he likes Chipotle and I'm gonna buy the stock. I have another example where I have one friend through some common forum. He was working as a nurse, and he's working and using this butterfly network device where instead of having a large device you can scan and find out what's the wrong with patient. Some company introduced a really handheld device. Yes, and the stock was I think $10, and then it got jumped to $20, and this person was trying to invest into some unknown company. He has never used it, and he was all gaga over it. Okay, this stock is gonna go $100, $500, and then I don't know how did I come to this point where he occasionally talked about he's a nurse and then he's using the device, and I told him, dude, if you would have just played to your own strength, this device is, you know how much worth it. You are using in your own personal life. You now know that instead of scheduling so many meetings with your patients, and because see big hospitals only have 5 or 10 devices, and these devices are multi-million-dollar devices, and now this new company has come into the market which have introduced this handheld device. The accuracy of image scanning is 60%, but still your 100% or 1,000 patient can afford a $5 scan rather than your all 1,000 person or all 1,000 patient can afford $1,000 scan. So they changed complete the market, and I told him if you would have just played to your own strength, then you would have made a lot more money. And now he's actually regretting it because that stock fell down to $10, and he bought it into the $60 different, like the one he was speculating. He has no idea about it. Yes, he bought it into the when the rally was going up, and everyone was just thinking that we're gonna be millionaire in a 6 month. And so this is what he did. So I always do the same thing. You guys love Apple. I have listened to so many people. They use Apple iPhone, they use Apple phones and laptops and Mac Mini, and every product they do it, and they start investing into some high speculated stocks. They don't buy the Apple one. They know they are using the products. They are themselves customer. They like it. They love it, and they also don't explore the similar revenue. Apple is making the money. Probably Android will make the money. Yes, Google will make the money because they are doing the same. They are producing the same devices. I'm loving the Apple. Someone else is loving the Android. Like me and Mayank are fan of Linux and Android, so we love them. So just play to your core strength. Don't try to chase fictional money where Nowadays everyone says you can double or triple the money in 2 days or 3 days or 1 month. That's all you see nowadays in a YouTube. People are just saying, put the money here, you will earn your 5x the money in 1 month. What do you have to say about this, man?
No, that's so true. I think everybody is culprit of investing in some sort of gambling, but don't go don't go all the way in where you cannot get out of. So if you're ready to lose, let's say $1,000 on something, then go ahead and buy Dogecoin. We're not suggesting that puts money in something that's not going to grow in the future. Or if you're just trying to make sure that yes, I have $1,000, I can afford to lose
Yeah.
this thousand. It's okay. It's not going to break me. It's not going to make me cry. Then go ahead and put the
Yeah.
$1,000 somewhere where you're ready to lose it. But yeah, mostly don't. There's no need to speculate. I think investing is easy. I think the equipments you use in everyday life, the services that you get in everyday life, those companies. What are those companies, and then see what they do and how much money they make. And you actually a partner by investing into that company, as well as you are
Yes.
also a consumer
Yeah.
by taking their services or using their equipments. So it works both ways. I think yeah, no need to follow some internet gurus on stock market thing. The stock market is so much I would say vibrant that you can actually fall into it and then lose money in seconds. I have seen that. I have lost so much money. I'm
Yeah, me
sure
too.
Naimesh has lost so much money. We have learned our lesson. But I'm also culprit on still trading on few things. Like to see and how I like to see the returns faster than most people. But yeah, it's a different thing. You have to learn how to see the charts. It's a lot of homework goes in
Yeah.
the
Lot
in
of.
that trading piece. But I would say the simplest is to invest. You like the company, go ahead and put your money, and then forget it. Forget the app. Delete the app. You're not gonna see every day. You'll see it after 5 years that yes, now it's paying off.
Now it's paying off.
So yeah,
Definitely. Definitely.
yeah.
You know, most of the time people make this mistake where they think they can do trading also, where they can quadruple the money every day, and they can also think they can do an investing every day, where they think I'm also invested, I'm going to make a lot of money over the long period of time. And you talk to anyone, they are guilty of doing this. But
Mhm.
like me and Mayank, how do we think about this? It's we are fascinating also that can we make a money twice the money in a 2 days, 3 days? Everyone is guilty of doing it because everyone
Correct.
wants to make a money. Everyone is actually uh, uh, what do
Everyone wants to improve that their balance
yeah,
in the yeah. That's the goal.
greedy.
How can
Everyone
I
is greedy,
make this
man.
$1,000 to 2,000 and then
Every
4,000?
I
Yeah,
think maybe the monk, maybe the Buddha, those people are not
yeah.
greedy, but if you give a common man a choice that you will earn $1 million right now, or you can earn $1 million over the 10 years of period of time, everyone will be momentarily be thinking that I want to earn $1 million today rather than earning it over the 10 years of time. Yes, so everyone thinks about this, but do this. Don't try to do 50-50 allocation for trading and your investment strategies. If you do that, then your lose scenario is 50% of the money, and it's pretty much the dent on your own portfolio. So try to take a risk. That's what we do. We don't take
Mhm.
50% of the money or 60% of the money and we do trading with it. Mayank is playing with only $500. People are playing with $500. I play with only $100 or
Correct.
$500 here and there. And if I lose my money, let's say I'm trying to play a $1,000 for this quarter, and I lose it. I do that exercise again after 3 months. I don't do back to back. Next 15 days, I'm gonna lose another one
Don't
thousand
yeah.
dollars.
Don't try to take a revenge from the market. Market will get you again. Market is not gonna be
Friend, it's not your friend.
yeah, yeah, it's not your friend. So you have to be careful. So yeah, losing money, even losing money gives you experience. But I would not say that you go and bet all your money on something you don't know anything about. But yeah, it is tempting. Stock market, a lot of things go up and down too fast. So it is tempting to put all in and then sell it when it's all the way up. It can be all the way down. So it's yeah, it's two-sided thing. But the point is, investing is easy. The main point here is you have to make sure that you're taking easy steps. You don't mess around. You don't waste too much time looking at the stock and looking at the chart and then see how it's going every day. You don't have to follow a stock every day. If you like the company, even though it's go down, the company hasn't changed. The stock market value has changed, but
Yeah.
the company is still doing the things it was doing day before. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind. It's
Yes.
an easy investing, and that's the whole point.
Yeah.
What we as an immigrant, first of all, what we can achieve by and what are the things we can invest in to grow our wealth. So the easiest way is these what we mentioned: put it in the index fund or mutual fund through 401k. Put a savings account, try to save and then invest. At least have 3 to 6 months of, I would say, extra money sitting around in case something happens, you lose your job. Anything can happen. So you have to have some sort of cushion that you have 6 months of expenses covered, so you're not worried too much.
Yes.
So and that's, I think, yeah, it's the main thing. And what do you say, Naimesh? I
Yeah.
think
I completely
that's the
agree.
key point. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. I have this standard. My rent and my my total expenses of 1 month is close to $1,500, and I save 9 month worth of the money in my saving accounts, and then the money which I earn, yes, I try to save 50% of them and put it into the stock market, and I only buy the companies which I love, which I use. So this is what I do. Even though, let's say, something happens tomorrow, I have 9 months of cushion. There is nothing going to be happen. I have my health insurance, yes. So something fatally happens to me, my family is covered. Any disease, anything happens, we have very, very, really good insurance. We don't buy the cheap insurance. We take the insurance which is costing us $200 every 15 days. So anything happens, it's covered by there. So I, after 9 months of cushion, I don't have to save the money. Yes, and all the money which I now earn, I save as much as I can, and I put it back into my 401k. I max out all the 401ks. So $20,000 is the limit for this year. I'm going to max out that 401k. So I'm going to actually save the 30%, 33% interest on the $21,000, and plus my company is gonna contribute $6,000. So
Correct.
$26,000. So think about how much tax I'm going to save on the $21,000. Plus, uh, my tax bracket has been dropped. I also put the $6,000 into IRA. Yes, so that's a $27,000. And any money which is left, I have 9 months of cushion, so I can keep paying the rent until the 9 months something happens to me. Even if I have to immediately leave the country, I have the 9 months of cushions, and then after that, anything which is there, any money which I save, I put it into the market, and I buy really good companies. I buy Apple. I buy, recently the Coinbase went live, so I bought Coinbase. Airbnb, I liked it, so I invested into Airbnb. Then there are other really good companies, fintech companies. Like me and Mayank, both of them are in financial sector, so I know what's going on. I have used the credit card. I have wrote the code for the credit card. Actually, Mayank is designing the credit card related stuff. So he can talk more about it. So we know actually which company is doing really good in this market. So we pick those company, we buy them, and there are other things. There are other companies we love, and we buy them. So that's how we. My mantra is I don't go search the ticker. I first think about, I'm using the Apple. Then which companies are similarly providing the services which is on the Apple and people love, and then I go and find out now what's the ticker for this kind of companies, and then I find out whether users are liking it. I go read the uh, reviews on the Apple Store, YouTube people are talking about them, Apple Play Store, all of them has the reviews, and I go talk to the people on the Reddit communities, because people are using the Apple products. There is a Reddit forum Apple, and they complain that today my phone is not working because of some charger issues, and they do complain there. So similarly, if any product is out there, someone has created a forum on the website and they're talking about the product. You just go there, read about what are
Correct.
the opinions of the people, and that's how you find out people are loving it or not. Rather than you
Yeah.
just investing it because the ticker went yesterday 20% up, and today I'm gonna buy it. Yeah,
Then you're done.
yeah,
If you do that, then it's not gonna turn out good.
that is
But
not
yeah,
good.
I want to go back to that point when where if you have done your part, right? You have invested, you have done the 401k, you have saved enough money for 6 months, 10 months, whatever is comfortable for you. You have done those things, right? You have everything covered. Insurance is a big thing, and we can always cover that in a separate video. But yeah, that is also very important. You have family you have to take care of, so these things you have done. Now what happens if you still have some money to uh, play around and start investing on something? So I would say then invest on yourself. I think the
Yeah.
best thing you can do is, educate yourself. Try to see, buy books, hear books. There is Audible, there's all sorts of app you can download and buy the books and hear, learn new skills. So even this taking a video, and this takes a skill, it's a process. So we just invest, I would say, invest in something that you like. Buy a new guitar, do something that you're interested in. If you want to play music, just go for it. But yeah, I think that's when you can try out and be okay by losing money. Start a new business. You like to sell something online. Start a new business. If it doesn't work, it's okay, because you were ready for losing that money. And these types of experiments will one day it will turn into a bigger thing, and then you can think of it.
Yeah,
So I think
definitely.
Naimesh is doing that. And what do you say, Naimesh? I think this, you can actually invest in business ventures. Try to start new things.
Yeah.
Online business is a huge thing. So
The money put it into your education is always going to be worth
correct.
more in future. That's the simple mantra. And I always tell people, get an account of an Audible. You know, that $99 year you put it into, you know how much money you are going to make if you read those 12 books a month. You're going to make a phenomenal money out of that $99. You know, I've been I've been trying to read. Both of us actually trying to read the books on the Audible for past. I've been doing this for the 2014, and I don't know when did you started it, but both of us
I
encountered
started
the.
late.
When did you
Yeah, I
start it?
started 2 years back. Like since I started driving long drives,
Yes.
since then I've been listening to books. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
but yeah,
but think about this. Both of us encountered the movie. Both of us encountered the book 4 Hour Work Week. Definitely, it has changed my life. It has changed the perspective of the work. Yes. You know, we have been in the industry for how long? 8 years now. We have been seeing all these things, but we actually didn't sit back and look at all these things. We never did. Yes, we were always busy playing video games, or maybe always uh, we were too comfortable, and we
correct,
didn't think about that. Rather than us just playing a video game, why don't you live stream the video games? We would have made more money doing that.
correct.
Yes,
So true, so
so
true.
true. And
Yeah,
we
we
didn't
could have
take.
recorded. We could have recorded all those FIFA sessions and all those Call of Duty sessions,
Yeah,
and it would be better.
it would have been experiment. We would have failed and we would learn. Definitely, we would have done a lot of things. Once you actually enter into this content creation phase, yes, you will have expanded your horizons. I always imagine that I'm gonna work for this company, and my cubicle will change from one company to another company. You know, at first 3 years I was working for Deloitte. Maybe next 3 years now is a Goldman Sachs, and maybe after next 3 years something else. And how many people has done this in their life? So many people. Yes, they never realize that this internet generation has done so many things, and these are the tabooed concepts we thought about it, but we were also wasting our time by not looking at these things. So definitely, and I tell everyone now, the content creation is going to be the next giga dollar or maybe hexa dollar economy. So rather than you consuming the content, also be an active participant on creating content.
Correct.
Do this whatever we are doing it. You know, Mike is passionate. I'm trying to
I,
pull him in. I'm trying to
Yes.
I'm trying to tell
It
him
is.
that let's talk about all these things. We are passionate about all these things, and if you would have picked up the wrong topic, we would have actually run out of we would actually run out of topics to discuss very soon. But I know Mayank and me has, I don't know, thousands of discussions over the so many years, and we never run out of topics when it comes to financing or when it come out of how to
Correct.
invest the money in yourself and so many other things. What do you
And
think?
yeah, yeah, the topics will not end.
Hmm.
But when we try to make a video, then we have to think of what topics to make a video. But
Yes.
yeah, that's the reality. I think there is vast amount of knowledge we can gain, by the things, by trying out new things. I think we were afraid of trying out new things. There is a lot of fear on taking the first step. Everybody's culprit. I'm culprit of it. I've been thinking of doing things and I've been delaying,
Me too.
delaying, and it never happens.
Hmm.
So I would say, heads off to Naimesh. Naimesh has started few things, few ventures, trying himself. So I think that's where everybody, I think, should take a look at it, and then try to implement the same things.
Yeah.
And even though you fail, nothing works. It's still okay. Something has gained out of it. So I think it's good to experiment, and it's good to fail early
Yeah.
instead
Definitely.
of just waiting. Yeah.
Also, the few things we have identified, Mike, is you fail, you talk to each other. You know, even though I started doing this content creation, the very first thing which I learned from Mike is change the job if you are not earning more money. You know, don't be comfortable in your position, and company doesn't think that you are valued employees, and then you are not rewarded that much. Change the jobs. This is, I think we should actually make another video about this, where people are
Correct.
just stuck into this cubicles, where they are not even rewarded. They are putting 20 hours in, they're working over the weekends, they don't get equity, they don't pay that much, yes, and they don't care about the employees. Yes.
Hmm.
Why should you work for those companies? And Mike actually showed me that
Yeah.
only thing you can do is join the job. Don't be loyal to those companies where they don't worry about you. Don't do that.
You have to, yeah, you have to like what you do, but don't like the company that you work for. So you better like the software creation and coding and everything. That is okay, and everybody should like what they are working on.
Yeah.
But don't fall in love with the company that you're working for.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you don't see the growth, I think don't no
Go
need
and
to waste
quit.
time, and just take a step. Even though the next company is same to the your previous one, doesn't matter. You have gained something. You must have gained more money, or even in terms of knowledge or anything, skills. You have gained a new experience. Now it's time for you to decide what you want to do, and then you take another step, and then another step. So that's how you evolve, and you get to see all sorts of technology sector. So if
Yeah.
you're in a travel sector, it's okay. You change it to consulting sector, and then you move that to banking sector.
Yeah.
So there's so much to learn from.
From everything you can learn so much, and keep
Yeah.
doing all these things. Yep. So
Correct.
I think today we hit or nailed down all the topics, Mank,
Yeah,
and
I think we covered
we
we
covered a lot
covered
of
most
things.
of it. Yeah, quite a lot we covered. I think we should continue on separate sessions on a smaller topic. So
Yes.
yeah, stay tuned. I think we'll come up with more topics, smaller videos,
Yes.
and we can divide upon few things and
This was a
try
buffet for
and
you guys.
experiment. Yeah,
This was a buffet. You can pick and choose whatever you like, but we are
correct.
also going to create an appetizers for you, where we are going to specially talk about savings. Yes, and
Good.
it going to be just a 5 or 10 minute video, and both of us talking about the same things. And don't worry, we are going to repeat the same things again and again until you guys do it, because that's
Correct.
what you
You
have to
got
do.
Yeah, just before you even start watching, just hit that like button, because you already know you're gonna learn something. So hit that like.
Yes.
Just do not be afraid.
I say destroy the like button. We want to recommend this video to so many people. If you do that, a lot of people will be encouraged to watch this, and they might take healthy financial decisions in their life. So I think with this thing in my mind, I just want to say goodbye.
Yep. Goodbye to all. Thank you. Thank you, Naimesh.
Thank you. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.